you're going to follow us too, right?
Yes, I am. Are we ready to go?
Yep.
Okay, let me put this away.
Thanks again.
Okay.
Before we even begin.
Okay, you're welcome,
Awesome
sir.
thing. Thank you.
All right, it's okay, man. But I'll talk to you later. Just let me get going here so we can get going.
The following program was produced by a PAC TV community producer and does not reflect the views or opinions of PAC TV staff or the PAC TV Board of Directors. The content contained herein is the sole responsibility of the community producer.
Welcome to Communicating with the Dead. This is a city like to see.
Put it on the ballot. Today is October 4th, 2004. How y'all doing? I'm doing just fine. What about yourself? You doing okay? I'm doing fine. What about yourself?
Like a burned out cinder, I'm just a downwinder. I got the down out blue. How y'all doing? Today is October 4th, 2004. And this is where the truth lies. When I was 5 years old, I remember watching TV with John Wayne and the Indians, and they were fighting. Cowboys and Indians, we used to call them. And anytime they had a battle, I was always rooting for the Indians to win. That is where the truth lies. The Pilgrims, when they came over here in 1620, they poisoned the Indians, they enslaved them. They cut off their hands, they raped them, traded them, they sold them, and perhaps they even ate them. That is where the truth lies. The Constitution of the United States of 1776 was written by white men, rich men who were lawyers. They said created equal, women, children, foreigners, and African Americans. This is where the truth lies. The Constitution of the United States was based on lies. The Constitution was based on slavery, bigotry. The Constitution of America was based upon specialty, importance, presidencies, royalty, and not the American people. This is where the truth lies. They talk about Black American, African Americans. People are saying we should give them restitution. Restitution meaning that we should give every African American money for the wrongs of slavery in the past. Now I'll tell you where the truth lies. People say, but Mark, the Italians were hated. The Irish were hated. They were discriminated against. The Jews in America, they were discriminated against. The Chinese, the Asian community, the Spanish, the Portuguese, etc., etc., like the Mexicans, all down the line. The only difference, my fellow Americans, is that the African American ancestry was enslaved. They were killed, they were murdered, they were hung, they were lynched, they were burned alive, they were tortured, they were raped, they were dismembered. That's the difference. African Americans were enslaved. Families broken apart. They were sold So it is not like the Italians that were discriminated against. And it was not like the Jews that were discriminated against in America. And it wasn't like the Chinese, the Arabs, the French, the German, the Polacks, the African American was enslaved, murdered, killed, raped, and sold. Lot, stock, and barrel. Up until the 50s, they're still discriminated against. I said give them restitution. I think we should give every African American in this country, if you were born at a certain date, every single African American should receive $10,000. I do believe that. People say, where's that money going to come from, Mark? The money's going to come from the Iraqi war, the billions of dollars that are going over there to fix their water systems, their school systems. You hear Kerry talk about that. Oh, you know, Mr. President, on the debates, John Kerry said to Bush, Mr. President, the monies that are going to fix hospitals and schools and water systems and roadways and transportation systems in Iraq, when our infrastructure in America is just falling apart and you have given not even one nickel to the American highways and byways and schools and waterways and environmental friendly programs. I say to both of them, I've been saying that all along, I say every red-blooded American should be pretty pissed off that billions of dollars are going over to Iraq, billions of dollars are going over to Saudi Arabia to fix their water systems, millions of dollars are going to Israel to give them better medical care, to give them better military weapons. Millions of dollars are going all overseas, and they're not enriching our seas from Purple Mountain Magistracy. This is where the truth lies. If you want something really to be done, you got to write me in as state representative so I can put things on the ballot. Congress is debating these issues for over 200 years, the basic needs, the 12 to 15 issues of basic needs of life in America. And they vote against it every time. For the last 200 years, Congress has been voting, do we want a minimum wage to be a livable wage? Every time, they just give us nickels. They're putting us in a pickle. So I say to you, my fellow Americans, we need to put everything on the ballot. Do you want minimum wage to be $15 an hour? Congress is debating this issue of livable wages for 200 years. Every time Congress votes no, they don't want to increase minimum wage, any type of livable wage. I say put that on the ballot. How would you vote? You know Congress's record. Congress's record on do you want affordable housing? For the last 200 years, Congress is debating these basic issues of American life. Do you want affordable housing? And they voted in our favor. And every time for 200 years they voted no, we don't want affordable housing. I say put it on the ballot. It's time for Americans to vote on these crucial issues of the day, like minimum wage, a livable wage, affordable housing. Do you want affordable housing? Let's put it on the ballot. And I would get these issues on the ballot by using my state representative's salary of $50,000 or more, hiring signature gatherers to get the signatures of registered voters in Massachusetts to put these issues on a binding ballot. Whatever we say goes, folks. Congress has been voting these issues for 200 years and have been voting against us every time. Do you want affordable housing in America, my comrades? Put it on the ballot. We know Congress's record for over 200 years. They say no. Do you want affordable health care? For 200 years, Congress has been voting no. I say put it on the ballot. This is where the truth lies. I say put it on the ballot. Do you want affordable health care? Put it on the ballot. Let the people decide. We know Congress's record for the last 200 years. They say no. I say put these issues on the ballot. This is where the truth lies. Do you want minimum wage to be $15 an hour? Do you want affordable housing? Put it on the ballot. Do you want affordable health care? Put it on the ballot. We know Congress is. Let the people decide. Let the 200 million registered voters in America decide our fate. Congress has had their hands in our fate for over 200 years and has voted no, no, no on these issues. You're missing the point. I'm going to tell you where the truth lies. You see these politicians and everyone says, oh, Kerry this and Bush that and Kerry this and Bush that and Dean this and Cheney that. It's all a bunch of crap. It's all propaganda, political propaganda, gerrymandering, politicking of old. Uncle Sam has been traded, bought, dissected, canned, and sold. It is time to write in people like myself. Uncle Sam has deserted us. It is time to write in your Uncle Gus. Write in Mark Lord, State Representative. There's a write-in place. A lot of people say, well, if you're not on the ballot, I can't vote for you. Oh, yes, you can. You can write it right on the ballot, right on the State Representative. Mark Lord, State Representative. I want him, Mark Lord, State Representative, because I'll get these issues on the ballot. It's time that we take away the voting power of Congress, who have been going against the American public and citizenry for the last 200 years. Do you want abortion illegal? There seems to be a big thing about abortion. I'll fight this and fight that. They're always fighting, Congress saying, oh, we're going to debate it again, and we'll debate it again. They've been debating these issues for over 200 years. We need to put crucial issues of the day on the ballot. This is where the truth lies. Do you want abortion legal? Let the people decide, not Congress and special interest groups. Do you want nuclear power closed, banned? Do you want nuclear power plants closed down so we can develop clean air, clean wind power, renewable energy, environmentally safe energy, solar power, ocean power? Congress has been voting nuclear power for 50 years, and they vote yes, we do want it, when in fact we know it's dangerous and deleterious to our health and our chromosomes and our reproduction systems, and even make children who are in the womb mentally retarded. These are facts. These aren't just things I pull out of a hat, and anyone will tell you who's in the nuclear scientific industry will tell you that, and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission has even said in 1776 they concluded tests and they said any amount of radiation is bad for your health. It is time we open up the door. Put it on the ballot. We know what Congress's record is. I say put it on the ballot. Do you want nuclear power plants phased out and wind power phased in? Solar power? Renewable energy? Environmentally safe energy? Put it on the ballot. It doesn't matter what I think. That is where the truth lies. Do you want a state-of-the-art public transportation system? Congress has been debating this for over 200 years, but time and time again, vote against it. They vote against making a state-of-the-art, highly technological public transportation system that would rendezvous and transport the American working public from village to village, from city to city, town to town, and state to state. Do you want a state-of-the-art public transportation system so that we don't have to rely on foreign oil and pollute our air more, and our land, and our water, and our food supply with pollutants that go in the air, into the water, into the soil, into the food chain? Do you want safe and state-of-the-art public transportation system in America? Congress, we know what their record has been over the last 200 years. Put it on the ballot. This is where the truth lies, and if I'm elected state representative, I will get these issues on the ballot. All you have to do on November 2nd is when you get that ballot, it'll say Vinny Macedo, it'll say Loring Tripp, or right under those names you write Mark Lord, state representative. And I'll spend the $50,000 of my salary that I get as state representative to hire signature gatherers to get registered voters' signatures in Massachusetts to put these issues on the ballot, a binding ballot where the majority rules. Isn't that what America is all about, my comrades, that majority rules, when in fact Congress rules, the president rules, and big business, greed? Do you want marijuana legalized? It doesn't matter what I think. Put it on the ballot. Congress has been debating these issues for over 50, 75 years. And we know what their stance is. They got their hands in our pants, taking our tax dollars, when in fact, if you did legalize marijuana, the alcohol industry would suffer. And because marijuana is a type of natural grown plant that when smoked, you do not want to have any other deleterious substances in your body, especially alcohol. Alcohol companies knows this. They've done tests, I'm sure. Whereas marijuana users drink less alcohol. We can't have that now, can we? Put it on the ballot. Do you want marijuana legalized, yes or no? We know where Congress stands on that. They say no. Put it on the ballot. Let the people decide. Is this not a government for and by the people? But instead it's a government by and for the politicians, their associates, friends, and big business. Well, it's time we turn it around. It's time we put it on the ballot. Stop listening to these blue-suited dandies on polished podiums in front of public squares spouting their views on how American people are great and how we're going to achieve the greatest things in all the world if you elect them. The millionaires, the royalty, the professional dandies, the professional politicians that hire your taxes and your fees to the 175th degree and give you nothing in return except poison and polluted seas. I know you agree that you want to vote on these direct issues of the day. These are 12 to 15 crucial issues of the day that have been debated over 200 years by Congress. And they have been voted against. They have a no vote every single time, these 12 to 15 crucial issues of the day. It is time we take these 12 to 15 crucial issues of the day, put them on the ballot, let the 200 million registered voters in America decide our fate, not Congress, not big business, not special interests, not foreign nations, where they get the food and we get the rations, the canned meat. We're sick and tired of eating Spam. We want some of that steak, that organic beef that they eat. This is where the truth lies. Let the people of America decide if you want capital punishment. Let the people of America decide whether or not you want to have electrocution as a form of death for cases of capital murder. Congress seems to think we don't want capital murder. I don't know how that would go, but Congress seems to think we don't want capital murder. We don't want capital punishment, and they vote against it every time for the last 100 years. It is time we put that issue on the ballot. Do you want capital punishment for capital murder? Put it on the ballot. If you see my shirt up here, put it on the ballot. Yeah. All I have is 12 more minutes, Judy. See, put it on the ballot. You know what? See, I had these shirts made up. Put it on the ballot, and it's made up of G&G silkscreen and embroidery in Plymouth, Massachusetts. And if you want one of these shirts, go down to Home Again Consignments store. Home Again Furniture and Consignments, and that's on the front. It says City Lights, City Streets. Famous speech user to lose it. And then on the other side, put it on the ballot. And you can go down there. You can purchase these shirts at Home Again Consignment Furniture Store. It's on the corner of Somerset Street and Court Street, right next to the Dunkin' Donuts and Gulf Station. You'll see it there, Home Again. You'll see a duck sitting out there on a bench, and that's the store. And go down there and see Barbara and say Mark sent you, and she'll treat you real well to get one of those T-shirts. We need to put it on the ballot. You need to write me in as state representative. Mark Lord. I will get every signature in Massachusetts. The only way that I can get anything done is to be able to get that $50,000 salary and turn it into something good for everyone. But instead, state representatives take their $50,000 and spend it on cars and yachts. And they forget, and they forgot who put them in office. They represent the nuclear power industry. They represent construction industries. They represent big business industry. They represent everybody except the ones that they should represent, and that's you and me. That's why I say take away their vote, because they've been voting on these 12 to 15 crucial issues of the day, and we know what their record is for the last 200 years. put it on the ballot. Do you want to be able to vote on the war, whether or not you want war over again? Do you want to vote on the issue, do you want our troops home from Iraq? I tell you, I'm a wreck about Iraq. I say this to you, my fellow Americans, do you want your troops home from Iraq? Put it on the November 2nd, 2004 ballot. That's the right thing to do. Let the people decide. Let the people in the military decide. But you know something? The military, it was in the New York Times the other day, that the top military brass had taken, from the last election, taken absentee votes from the military that were overseas and destroyed them. They took the military votes that the troops that are overseas last year, when they voted on elections, local and state and federal elections, last year the military brass took the absentee votes of soldiers over in other countries, in other lands, 168 nations to be exact, not just Iraq. And the military presence is in practically every country in the world. And do you think they should be there? Anyway, the military brass in New York, New York Times stated, the military brass destroyed absentee ballots, voter ballots, of the military serving overseas. Your vote doesn't count. The only way your vote will ever count is if you answer these 15 crucial issues on the ballot. The things that affect our everyday life. Do you want our troops home from Iraq? Congress seems to vote no every time. Well, why don't we just put that on the ballot and let the American people decide, and let the soldiers in Iraq and other countries decide whether or not we want our troops home, so that they can come home and put them to true use on the 1 billion acres of land that the federal government owns. I say take our military, bring them home, have them go to the 1 billion acres of land, open land that the federal government owns, and build single dwelling geodesic homes on 1 acre lots, a fuel efficient, cost-effective dwelling, geodesic dome designed by Buckminster Fuller, R. Buckminster Fuller, that would create homes for people. Don't destroy homes, my fellow Americans. Build homes in America. Affordable homes, put it on the ballot. Do you want the 1 billion acres of land that the federal government owns to have single dwelling homes on 1 acre lots? Affordable homes, so that we can realize the American dream. Put it on the ballot. Let the American people decide, not Congress. Your military troops. If I was President of the United States of America, I would bring them all home, and I would do exactly that. And I would put all these issues on the ballot, because it doesn't matter what the President of the United States may think, what the American people may want. It doesn't matter what Congress of the United States of America think, what the American people may want, because they don't know what we want. You'd have to be a psychic. You'd have to be a calculated, mathematical Leonardo da Vinci Code genius in order to figure out that pi r squared. I dare say, my fellow Americans, we've been bamboozled. We've been hijacked by a bureaucracy that is for themselves, their families, associates, and big business. And how many more times must I say it? How many more words must I juxtapose, interpose? I suppose it grows that this grassroots movement I talk about, by putting things on the ballot, the 12 to 15 issues of the day, crucial issues of the day that have been going on, bantering back and forth for 200 years in Congress, and them voting nay, nay, nay. It's time we get those naysayers out, those goats, those devils of democracy, those delinquent do-batters. We need to take it back from the hacks, from LA to Hackensack. It is time we fill up the cracks in the historical edifices that are crumbling. I was at the World Trade Center towers. I saw the ruins at my feet, but we didn't notice it. But it happens all the time. on 42nd Street. They burned the churches up in Harlem like they did in the Spanish Civil War. They turned our lights out and we tried to get the truth out, but we went right on with the show. So I say to you, my fellow Americans, this is where the truth lies. And I'm on Monday night at 8 o'clock, Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, Friday night 10 to 12, 2-hour show. And today is October 4th, 2004. It is time to break down this leaden, nuclear radiation, uranium impregnated, payoff, mahogany desk door from these political whores. That's exactly what they are. They have nothing better to do in their lives except to make our lives worse while bettering their lives, their families, associates, friends, and big business. We need to put all these crucial issues of the day on the ballot. Put it on the ballot. This is where the truth lies. Do you want clean air, clean water? You want our food supply protected? Right now it's interjected. It's subjected to hormones. It's subjected to genetic engineering that change the molecular inner structure of an organic vegetable that has been organic for billions of years. Monsanto Group and other devilish companies are destroying our... You can walk by. Walk by. And this is Mark Lord, and this is where the truth lies. We have to protect our sacred water trust. Without water, everything turns to rust. We have to protect our air from pollutants. We have to keep it clear. We got to steer away from polluted air. We have to protect the sacred air trust. Without air, there's no one there. We have to protect our sacred land trust. Just walk right by. It goes real quick. But don't walk by these issues, my fellow Americans. We must protect the land trust, for it too will turn to rust. And people all over the world will turn to dust. Do you want that? That is why it is a must to put these 15 crucial issues of the day on the ballot. And then one day we'll have a world ballot. That first world ballot should have one question upon it. And that one question should be, do you want war or do you want peace? Let the world decide whether or not they want war or peace. And when the overwhelming majority of people in the world vote, we want peace, the ones that said that they wanted war will gather them all up, country by country, hamlet by hamlet, and put them in the Antarctic. Give them weapons. Let them have their little war. What for? All war ends in compromise, peace, and rebuilding. Why not start there? You know why they don't start there? Because big business is involved, royalty is involved, and history is involved. And egomaniaism is involved, and megalomania is involved. We have dictators. We have so-called elected officials that steal votes in Florida, that military brass destroy votes in the military. Absentee votes. We have ballot box stuffers. We have liars, deceiters, cheaters, killers. Organized crime is the politician of today. And don't you ever forget it, because their roots started there. And those roots go deep into a cesspool. It is time we remain cool and calm and put all these issues on the ballot. This is where the truth lies. And I'm Mark Lord, and write me as state representative. I'll get all those issues on the ballot. One more important, very important thing to say to you. I'm not going to say anything. A very important thing to say to you. Put it on the ballot. And you can get these shirts at Home Again Consignments. Go out and get one. put it on the ballot. Go to the G&G Silkscreen, Plymouth, Massachusetts embroidery. Got free speech? Put it on a T. Put it on the ballot. Pick a finger.
Put it on the ballot.
I wonder if he's really at the Bonnie Frank. I know Bonnie Frank is all beef hot dogs. You know, if they don't say Bonnie Frank, they're not all beef. And you can get Bonnie Franks at Rick Snell's Barbecue on July 4th. We're going to have Bonnie, the original now. The original now, not the fake ones. The original all beef Bonnie Franks. And if it doesn't say Frank on it, Bonnie Frank, well, they're just not Bonnie's Franks. I wonder if Tommy Franks have hot dogs. Yeah, the General, yeah. He's going to come out with a, yeah, made with Afghanistani and Iraqi flesh. All right. No, it says Qaeda linked to blast. It says Qaeda. Whatever happened to Al Qaeda? Now it's just Qaeda. You know? Someone's in the kitchen with Qaeda. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Qaeda. Baking a bomb cake. I'm going to tell you how to make a bomb cake. A wedding cake. Yeah, that's perfect. You know, weddings are going to be coming up in July and August. If you want to make a wedding cake that blows up, right? Bake a cake, hollow it out, and put one of those giant bombs in there with a fuse. And when they light the thing, boom, the wedding body's gone. You know? You'll see a wedding cake somewhere in Israel or Arabia or wherever the hell those lands are that we could care less about. Which they report about all the time. Why should they? You care about an Iraqi? When did you ever care about an Iraqi? Did you wake up one day and said, you know something? You're shaving or you're putting on your lipstick. Well, if you're a guy, you're not putting on your lipstick. Well, some guys put on lipstick. And you look in the mirror and you go, you know something? It just dawned on me that the Iraqi people have no freedom, and we should go over there and bomb the whole country to give them back their freedom. When did you say that? Oh, last week? Oh, okay. Just checking. Bend over, let me check. It says Bush is going to go to the Mideast, and they're going to have a peace plan between the Arabs and the Jews in the Mideast. Bush is going over there. You know? You know what his peace plan is? Stop the war, I'll blow you to pieces. Splatter all you Mises and Mices to pieces. Put a crease 200 yards long right down the middle of your country with a giant daisy cutter. That'll drop a few bunker busters too, the nuclear bombs that are 10 times as strong as the Hiroshima bomb that pollute the air, water, land, and your DNA and RNA structure. Genetic genocide. And no one's talking about how the veterans of the war who went over there, the American veterans, they're all going to come down with all sorts of weird diseases. You know why? Because they're using uranium-impregnated ammunition and armaments. In other words, radioactive bullets. The ones that were in the Iraqi war 10, 12 years ago, they came down with paralysis and genetic defects in their children because of that reason, and the government admitted to it, that that's what it was from. And then they said, we're going to give them medical benefits to help them. And then Bush said that. Then in the next couple of days, there was another article that says, no, there has to be more study, Bush says. So on one hand, Bush makes a statement, oh, we're going to help the Iraqi veterans from the Desert Storm because the radioactive bullets have caused brain disease, paralysis, and genetic defects in their children. And Bush says, well, now we admit that that's what caused it, and we're going to give them millions of dollars to try to help them with their medical benefits and their families because they're losing their homes because medical benefits don't cover these rare types of diseases. And then a week later or so, Bush comes out and says, no, more study has to be done. You see how that works, folks? The politician comes out and says, yes, free for everybody, we're going to help you and all this. And then the next day they say, no, we're not going to help you, more study is going to be done. But The people that heard it the first time, did they hear the retraction the second time? More than likely not. You have to untie that Gordian knot. Instead of Bush going over to the Mideast to try to get peace in that land, he needs to go into the America's heartland and make peace with the racism that's going on in the cities. That the dilapidated housing that human beings are living in 1 mile from the White House. He needs to make peace with the people in America. Give them back their billions of dollars of tax dollars that go overseas and bring it here to our land, to our heartland, to fight the war on drugs, to shut off the borders, to raise minimum wage to a livable wage. And that doesn't mean raising it at a nickel. We may as well be all communists now. Change our flag to a hammer and a sickle. Do you get it yet? Do you think bombing other lands with mega bombs, do you think that has anything to do with earthquakes? I believe a geologist will probably tell you, I don't know for sure, but if there are any geologists out there, you can write me a P.O. Box 1503, Manamet, Massachusetts. My idea is that if you disrupt the plate of the Earth's crust, it's gonna pressure and push and pressure, and that's how you get earthquakes, by the tectonic plates pushing together. Earthquake faults. So when you blow up something in one area, it's gonna push the crust out, right? So yeah, you get tension. Now you're gonna get earthquakes. So earthquakes are related to war as well. It says in a study here that China is behind U.S. in military power. China. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the Chinese know what they're doing, and I think that that's a bunch of propaganda crap. We say that because even though China is a threat to their own peoples and other peoples, but the United States industry is making a lot of money from the Chinese government, and that's why they're saying all this propaganda about China, how they're not a threat and all this. It says this doctor, see, this is where the government protects themselves, their families, associates, and big business. This is where there's this U.S. doctor, see, so he gets SARS, he gets that respiratory illness in Taiwan, and he's going to fly home to the USA to get treatment. No. Shouldn't they quarantine him over in Taiwan? Now what the hell are they allowing this idiot doctor with a deadly contagious disease to fly over in a plane back to America and bring SARS over here? Is this world gone crazy and askew? I think so. The U.S. doctor with symptoms of SARS is going to fly home from Taiwan. He should know better. He's a doctor. You don't go spreading contagious diseases in the United States of America. Did you forget your Hippocratic oath? No, it's a hypocritical oath is what it is, because you don't believe that you're there to help people. You're just there to help yourself. That's all you care about. You want to come back and help yourself in America. You could care less about the people that you're going to infect. Idiots. Some folks like to get away, and then when they get SARS, they want to come back and stay. I don't think so. You don't bring a deadly contagious disease back to America from Taiwan. You know what I mean? It's bad enough everything that we have, even American flags, are made in China. Canada quarantined 6 more cows of mad cow in Canada. A lot of people don't know it, but there have been 6 cases of mad cow disease in America. Time magazine reported on it. It was a front page story. There was pictures of the people, the victims, and one of the people, they thought they got it from eating wild meat. That's what they said. Now, yeah, I believe that. I believe they probably got it from a bad cow. Another lady got it from a heart pill that she was taking. The coagulation that they coagulate around the pill had mad cow disease in it, and she took the pill and died. So there have been 5 cases or 6 cases of mad cow disease in America, and CNN News says, oh no, there's only been 1 or 2, oh no, like Time Magazine reported on it last year. Look it up. Again, big business like the media protecting themselves, their families, associates, and big business and government. The USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture. The United States Department of Agriculture has suspended meat inspectors. Suspended them when we need them the most. And Bush is going to veto any bill that tells you where bad meat came from and what factory it came from and where it was distributed. Bush wants to keep health information from you now. If your beef is tainted, he ain't going to tell you where it is. That was in the New York Times. And that's the truth, because a congressman put a bill into Congress to say that the American public have a right to know where the bad meat factory is and where the bad meat was distributed, and it was voted down, vetoed. Bush vetoed it. My brethren, we got to get back to reality and stop all this hatred and superficiality. We got to stop the government acting as duality, acting as big business, and government doesn't cut the mustard, folks. There's a separation between church and state. There should be a separation between big business and state, don't you think so, my fellow Americans? And if I was elected president of the United States, I would cut all ties with big business. They need to pay the taxes, that the billions of dollars that we've given them over the century. We need to get that money back. We need to break up the corporations, because all they're doing is polluting our land, air, and water we breathe, making products we neither want nor desire, that pollute our land, our water, and air that we breathe. Pharmaceuticals, over-the-counter pills, well, how they've been tested. They say it's been tested, these certain pills, ibuprofen and stuff, not good for you. All those pills are not good for you. That's why you're dying of strange diseases and cancers that your insurance policy doesn't cover. Sorry, we don't cover that brain disease. Sorry, all your premiums all those years, when you need it the most. Sorry, your kid's gonna die because he's got a real leukemia. We're not gonna pay for it. Sorry. You expect that out of a Chinese person in China. Oh, so sorry. So sorry. Oh, sorry. I went into a Chinese restaurant the other day, and I bought some Chinese food. I don't normally eat that crap, but once in a while, about once a year. Oh dear. I want to make this clear. And so I steer clear of steer. Don't eat that meat, man. It's tainted with hormones. Hormones make the cows grow bigger and fatter. Then they hit them over the head with a giant mallet, and their teeth chatter. Fall over upside down. They slice their throat. They gut them. The meatpacking industry, guys are in hip boots with blood up to their ankles and guts on the floor. And then they scrape up all the guts off the floor at the end of the day so that they can make their pay. And then they put it in a giant meat grinder, a mechanization process that just grinds up all the bones and teeth, and then they put it. Yeah, then they put them in hot dogs. Then the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, suspends meat inspectors, and Bush vetoes bills that were introduced by our congressmen to protect the health and safety of the public. They introduced a bill that would tell us where the bad meat came from and where it was distributed, and Bush vetoes the bill. Again, Bush protecting the meat industry, contributors to the political campaigns. They're just protecting their congressional seats, their presidential seats. Aren't you sick and tired of it? The New York Times, Daily News, whoa. When it comes down to reality, well, it's not fine with me that they let it slide. Because when you get mad cow and die, your family will cry. All because Bush doesn't want to let you know where the bad meat factories are and where the bad meat is distributed. He vetoes bills when congressmen put them in and try to do the people's will. You know what the government had the nerve to say when the 9/11 occurred? They had the nerve to say that American investors are the ones that were backing the terrorists, financially backing the terrorists, because American investors, they try to blame the American investor, the common average, everyday, working class Joe, common investor who has 1,000 stocks and something or other, because they invested in companies where the companies have holdings in Iraq and terrorist nations. So they were trying to blame the investor because the companies they invested in were American companies that had investments in terrorist nations. Isn't that a pisser? The government. You gotta remember the United Nations did not sanction this war. You know, all the other political candidates do it just as much as a bum as Bush. Whether they're Gores, Clintons, Trent, Lot, Stock, and Barrel, they're all the same. They're all for themselves, their families, associates, and big business could care less about the American public. Write me and Mark Lord, American candidate. I cannot be bought. Is this on? Well, that first part of the show was dark, huh? Oh well. Getting tired and weary, but I will not stop. You know Bush is on drugs, and he's got to be. Why not drug test Bush, the most powerful man in the world? You want to drug test local police officers and firemen? Why not? And in Marshfield, Massachusetts, I believe they even drug test librarians. I figured that one out. You never know, those librarians could be on drugs. Bush raised $22 million at a fundraiser. Now, what right does he have to do to spend our precious time and our liberties that are being sacrificed and our freedoms that are being taken away? And what right does he have to go raise $22 million? Why doesn't he fight the world? Why does he spend that time and spend that money on fighting drugs? Helping imprisoned mothers get a better job, better training, creating jobs instead of giving tax cuts to the wealthy. They have a picture. They have a picture of a turkey here. I don't know if you can see it. I'll give it a shot. It's a picture of a turkey. Right there. I don't know why this isn't in focus, folks. Something wrong with the camera. I gotta get a different camera. There's a turkey that lives in New York, it says. I believe there's quite a few turkeys living in New York. Like the government. You know, Benjamin Franklin wanted to make the national bird a turkey. And then it turned out to be an eagle, which was an endangered species. Yeah, I think American freedoms and liberty is the endangered species, all right. You know what kind of bird the American symbol is now. You know what I'm talking about, Mr. Big? You know, like Mr. Big, you know. You got the little guy, you got the medium guy, you got Mr. Big. You know, that bird there. Lenny Bruce, he said, died of a drug overdose. You know who he was, right? should be able to say anything you want in America, but you can't. Killing is not good. Thou shalt not kill. I'm shooting this on May 25th, 2003 in this 21st century. And it's a holy day as every Sunday is. And killing is not good. Thou shalt not kill. You're going to hell. Goodbye. Peace. Stay away from those beef byproducts. Stay away from ground hamburger. But you know, you'll see a lot more McDonald's commercials and fast food commercials for fast food burgers because they don't want their cash cow to go down the tubes because of all this disease. Well, USDA has suspended meat inspectors. Bush vetoes bills to tell you where the bad meat factory is and where it was distributed. The government's gone amok and it's destroying the liberties and freedoms of every American. When you don't tell people where bad meat came from or where it was distributed, you're holding back vital information that could save our lives. And that's your government. It's becoming more like a communist state every day. People say America is great and all this. Well, the people in America are great, sure, and the freedoms that we stand for. But the government has taken it all away. America's great, but the government stinks. They're the rat finks. They're the ones that are going to give us the cyanide drink. They may as well give us a cyanide drink if they're not going to tell us where the bad meat came from and where it was distributed. They may as well give us cyanide to drink when they suspend meat inspectors when we need them the most. And when you eat that hamburger, make sure you use your Emily Post. Hey, where's your Emily Post? The government is a vampire and we're the host. They suck the blood right out of your neck. And then they put a check next to your name and they say, oh, Mark Lord's been saying bad things about the government, huh? He has no right to do that. Well, maybe we'll do this and do that, and we'll have a file on him, a dossier. A dossier. They have a dossier at PAC TV, which I've been requesting for the last 3 months. They have personal papers on me at PAC TV, and they won't give them to me. Well, I'm going down there today and giving them one final chance to give them to me, and then I'm going to sue them. Those are my papers. I have a right to see them. Everybody's got a dossier on them. They know what kind of food you eat, what kind of car you drive, what kind of clothes you wear. And they even know what kind of furry slippers you put on your feet. I got the Barney Rubbles, yeah. I used to have Bugs Bunny, but the ears always made me trip. That's all, folks.
Some folks like to get away, take all the dirt from the neighborhood. Bubble flight from Miami Beach or to Hollywood.
President Bush, your 3 military men need to talk to you. Send them in. Oh, it's Mo, Larry, and Curly. Yuck, duck, duck, duck. I'll murderize you. Larry says that to Mo, and Mo slaps him, you know. And Bush says, hey, now, come on, guys, enough of that. We got to think about who we're going to drop the bombs on next. And Larry says, hey, why don't we drop the bombs on Mexico? And Mo says, no, you idiotic maniac. You can't do that. Hits them. And Curly goes, yeah, then we'll have instant tacos. Yuck, 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 yuck. And Bush says, now, boys, come on now. We got to figure out who we're going to drop the bombs on next. Curly, you seem to be the smarter of the bunch. What do you think?
Well, Your Honor, your president, Your Honor, your judge, your God, your king, King Bush. Well, just get to the point, Curly. Well, Your Honor, George W. Bushy, I think we should drop a bomb on the Vatican. Kill the Pope. No, we can't do that. Anyway, we don't want to kill the Pope, Curly. Why not? It'd be fun. We drop a poop bomb on the Pope from all that cow dung. And this is City Lights, City Streets. Go get yourself some eats. Put those furry, furry slippers on your feet. Get yourself a nice ice cream treat. Put those furry, furry slippers on your feet. And hunker down in your bunker. Make sure you have your radioactive pill at your side. Because when the big one goes, you're all gonna be fried and die. But Bush and Congress have their city-sized bunkers underground with food to last 5 years, fresh air to last 5 years, water to last 5 years, and they even have organic cow meat to eat. Oh dear. So, my fellow Americans, keep electing these duffers in, and they're going to destroy us all. Stop drinking the gin. It's getting so quiet in here, you could hear a pin drop on Jell-O. My fellow, go get some Jell-O and get a pin. Don't vote those duffers in.
I seen all the movie stars. Cause I'm in a New York state of mind. I seen all the movie stars in their fancy cars, in their limousines, and high in the Rockies, among the evergreens. All I know, I don't wanna waste more time, because I'm in a New York state of mind. It was so easy living day by day. Had a touch of the Riverman Blues. But now I need a little give and take. The New York Times, the Daily News. Whoa, when it comes down to reality, well, it's fine with me, 'cause I let it shine. I don't care if it's Chinatown or around Plymouth Harbor side. All I know, I ain't gonna waste more time. I'm in a New York state of mind. I've seen all the movie stars and their fancy cars and their limousines. Been high in the Rockies, you know, among the evergreens. All I know, I ain't gonna wait more time. I'm in a New York state of mind. See ya, Henry. I seen all the movie stars and their fancy cars.
among the evergreens. I ain't gonna waste more time. Among the evergreens. Fine.
That. Working too hard can give you a heart attack. You ought to know by now who needs a house out in Hackensack. Is that all you get for your money? And if it seems like a waste of time, if that's what it's all about, if that's moving up, well, I'm moving out. I'm moving out. Adolf Hitler, when he ordered the killing and the burning of Jews and Czechoslovakians and Russians. Awful thing. But Janet Reno goes on national TV and makes a mockery of breaking through a wall and saying this is live from New York, Saturday Night Live. Janet Reno makes a mockery of all those deaths. She says you have to keep a sense of humor. So did Hitler. Hitler had to keep a sense of humor when he was killing mass millions of people too. When he ordered the killings and the burning of Jews, Czechoslovakians, Russians, immigrants, retarded people, gay people, circus, midgets, Polish people, it was important that he keep a sense of humor too. Yeah. So instead of shooting people point blank in the head, and instead of gassing them by the millions, and instead of pouring acid in genetic identical twins' eyes by medical Nazi doctors, so to keep Hitler to keep his humor alive and his sense of humor going, they shot Xylon gas in a hypodermic needle directly into the hearts of the prisoners of war, so as to cause death within 30 seconds. Now that's funny. That's a real gas. Yeah, that's a real gas. Janet Reno breaking through a wall on Saturday Night Live isn't that funny. Making a mockery of killing 80 people, including 25 children burned alive, breaking through a wall, and then mocking it and satirizing it and bastardizing human life on Saturday Night Live and saying, live from New York, this is Saturday night. Something's really rotten in Denmark. Now I know why our jellyfished, backboned politicians don't speak up. Because their party is symbolized by a jackass. They are not only dumb, stupid, stubborn, and spineless fish crap that will not and that will not expose the truth. People burned alive in Waco, Texas, which included 25 children, was ordered by the higher-ups and followed through by Attorney General Reno. Fact, truth. She said it, not me. Fact, truth. I didn't say that they went in there and firebombed 80 people to death. Janet Reno said that. Is this on? Is this on? Oh, another phone call from on the love line. Yeah. Hi. Hi, how are you? Oh, don't get so mad. Hold on. What? You don't like me swearing? And you said that isn't the truth, that Janet Reno ordered the killings of all those people with a firebomb incendiary device? You said it isn't true? That I'm lying? No, I'm not lying, sir. No. Wait a minute. She said it on CNN News on more than one occasion, sir. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's right, she did, yep. Try reading a newspaper, asshole. All right. This is City Lights, City Streets, and I'm Mark. They're executing Timothy McVeigh today. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. I should read the last page first. And then you would have all the answers to all your problems. But that last page, I cannot read first, because you must be able to feel the hurt first. Then the dirt, then the worth, then the last page. For I am a sage. You know the herb sage? Yeah. If you rub me right here, sometimes it smells like sage. Yeah, sage. I have a friend that smells like thistle, but you don't want to get too close because you might get that needle missile right there. Love is contagious indeed. Hate is a contagious disease. Timothy McVeigh, as wrong as he was, as devilish as that was, Janet Reno, as wrong as she was and as devilish as that was, two wrongs don't make a right. They should make room on that gurney for Reno. She has to take Beano first, because if they, put some electrodes in her ass, she might explode. Take Beano. I like Larry King, Garlic. When I want to eat garlic, and I love the taste of garlic, I eat garlic. And he's a fine one too, Larry King. More like a Larry Queen. No, more like a Larry King, yeah, because kings don't tell the truth, do they? They're long in the tooth. They have no truth. Their teeth are like spikes, Mike. Take a hike. Get psyched. Listen up. This is City Lights, City Streets. This is Mark, and this is City Lights, City Streets. These are not my opinions. These are truths that I take from news accounts, from the very mouths of these people that we elect to protect us, when in fact, all we are to them is a pimple on society's ass that is full of pus that must be eradicated. And they do it unjust. The show's going to be repeated Wednesday night at 10 o'clock. You might want to watch it. This is not my opinion. These are quotes from all the people that I'm talking about. And you need to know the truth. Bruce. The golden goose has stopped laying the golden eggs for the king and the queen. Now it is time for the people to build up steam, to see the green in the environment so good, and stop electing people that act like gangsters in the hood. And this is Mark, and this is City Lights, City Streets. The news media was more concerned about Clinton's penis blowjobs rather than the Waco, Texas blowjob. Oh yeah, Clinton might have gotten only a blowjob by Monica Lewinsky, but he royally fucked 80 people to death, including 25 children. You want truth? You want truth? You can't handle the truth. You want truth? You want truth? Love is contagious indeed. Hate is a contagious disease. It'll spread like wildfire. It'll make glass melt. You want truth? You can't handle the truth. You want truth? The special prosecutor, Kenneth Starr, used $50 million of the American taxpayers' monies to investigate the sex lives of Bill Clinton, while 80 people were set on fire for their religious beliefs or because of suspected arms violations and possible incest. I thought you were innocent until proven guilty. I thought lynching was over with the blacks and the Ku Klux Klans in the 60s. I thought you were innocent until proven guilty. $50 million of countless hours of news coverage concerning the size of Clinton's penis. $50 million spent on trying to locate Monica Lewinsky's sperm-stained dress. $50 million spent on a pizza and a blowjob. The public could not hear the hollers and horrors of 80 people firebombed, admittedly, by their public officials. Whose fault is that we did not concern ourselves with that, to look into that, to prosecute that? Is that what we did? We did not see the truth? The media, that's who it was. The media rather report sex scandals rather than the political animals. Isn't that one of the reasons Hitler started the whole master race thing? Because of the controlling media? If anyone sucked a big one, it's the media. Because they get greedier and greedier. They know sex sells underwear and bread. Talking about blown up people firebombed in the head is a dread to these guys of greed in the media. Just like Ted Turner, who rides around in his billion-acre farm on his genetically altered steed, eating buffalo meat on the fire coals of cedar chips, while the media quips, Clinton had another blowjob today. Forget about those 80 people that died, admittedly by politicians that killed these people. Clinton had another blowjob today. That's right. And he had a pepperoni pizza too to go with it. Get with it. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. All my words are sacred. All my soul is sacred. Words are sacred. Use them. Years ago, it was against the law to write books, to read books. Only the kings and queens of Maine could do that and dream. But we can dream, and we dreamt, and we got our books, and we read our books, and we wrote our books, and we fight for our words. That's the American way, isn't it? Don't sway from the American way. Not today. Or else in the end, you'll pay. And this is Mark, and this is City Lights, City Streets. You can call me at 1-832 Love You or Love Me, and it's, I got the phone right here. Yeah, Arthur gave me this phone. It's a cool phone. Want to see it? Huh? Timothy McVeigh killed innocent people. 168 innocent people, which included 22 children. That was wrong. He blew up the federal Murrah building with a bomb and killed 168 people. Janet Reno and her radical raiders killed 80 innocent people, including 25 children. That was wrong. She firebombed the Branch Davidian compound with a firebomb. So what is the difference between Timothy McVeigh, terrorist, bombing 168 people to death, and Janet Reno, terrorist, bombing 80 people to death? The difference is Timothy McVeigh is found guilty of murder and is going to die by lethal injection today. And Janet Reno and the higher-ups get away with murder. That's the difference. Do you want the truth? America, do you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. First of all, Janet Reno ordering the firebombing on the Branch Davidian compound was wrong, dead wrong. Timothy McVeigh reacting to this murderous, unjust, inhumane act by bombing and killing 168 people was wrong, dead wrong. Two wrongs don't make a right. But you know what the truth is? The truth is this. If there was never a Waco, Texas, whereas Janet Reno ordered 80 innocent people burned alive, there would be no Timothy McVeigh today and 168 people bombed dead. If Janet Reno didn't bomb those 80 innocent people at the Branch Davidian compound, then there would be no Timothy McVeigh today. Do I believe Timothy McVeigh is a nut? Yeah, I think he's a nut. All terrorism is. You can win peace and love and harmony by civil disobedience. Martin Luther King did it. Mahatma Gandhi did it. And countless others did it. You must sacrifice many people in this peace march in order to get freedom of speech. You don't need guns. You don't need bombs. You kill them with love. You win them over with love. Love is contagious indeed. Hate is a contagious disease. And this is Mark, and this is City Lights, City Streets. These aren't my truths. Period. The truth, no matter how you look at it, both Waco and Oklahoma City bombings were a tragedy. But when the government orders the deaths of innocent people, that is a travesty. And when terrorists take revenge and kill 168 innocent people, the terrorist is only continuing to quilt another hate patch on this tapestry of a travesty. In the end, two wrongs don't make a right. However, I must ponder this point a bit more, for in the essence of these lessons, I know we must keep our Constitution alive and keep close by our Smith & Wessons. And this is Mark, and this is City Lights, City Streets. And you can call me at 1832 Love Me or Love You. And remember, love is contagious indeed. Hate is a contagious disease. Love begets love. Hate begets hate. You love, you get love. You hate, you get hate. Is that so hard to understand? Or is it too late? It's never too late to love. It's never too late to love the white, peaceful dove. Don't put on a black glove and strangle that dove. Don't hate. Don't create hate. Mate. Don't be saturated with that fate. This is Mark in City Lights, City Streets. You know I always go out on a limb for you guys out there. Right, Marion and George? I always go out on a limb for you people. I go out on the limb, and then I take a chainsaw and cut the limb off while I'm on the limb. But, you know, someone has to say this stuff. Don't you think, Gus? So you can call me at 1832. Oh, there's another call. Oh, another call. Hi, yeah, this is Mark. Yep. Hi. You watch my show all the time, yeah? You're very concerned about my swearing and well, I told you why I swear because those are sacred words. Yeah. I don't use them with hate. No. They're all truthful and caring and sacred. Yeah. What is that? Do I believe in terrorism? No. Do I believe in bombing? No. Do I believe in violence? No. Do I believe in the death penalty? Maybe. I'm not going to let you know that yet. Yeah, I might. I don't know. Ted Kennedy. Yeah, Ted Kennedy. That's right. Oh, this is Ted Kennedy. Hi, Ted. Oh, it's Ted Kennedy. Yeah, Ted Kennedy. Senator Ted Kennedy. He was against... Hello, hold on. I'm doing a show, Ted. Crying out loud. Have another drink. Okay. Well, you know, you must have had a lot to drink because you flip-flopped on the death penalty. See, you believe that... Listen to me, Ted. Ted, what's that noise I hear in the background? Oh, don't worry about it. You're just having a pizza with a girlfriend? Okay. I hear this sucking sound. What is that? Don't pay any attention. It must be in the lines. Okay. Oh, it's all in all political lines, that sucking sound? Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm in Plymouth, Massachusetts, yeah. Yeah. Well, let me just say this, Ted. Yeah, you can have another drink. Go ahead. Yeah, well, I think that maybe you're drinking it too much has made you flip-flop. Maybe gave you confabulation, where you make up stories and you believe them to be true. In other words, you were against the death penalty for so long, but now you say that Timothy McVeigh should be put to death because he's unremorseful. Aren't most murderers unremorseful, Ted? But you flip-flop on that because now you want to see him dead? You know? And we thought you were a nice guy. What's that? You getting a flashback? What's the flashback, Ted? Oh, when you and Mary Jo Kopechne were coming out of that party back in the 60s? That, or was it the 70s? You're not sure whether the 60s, 70s, or 80s? Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you and Mary Jo were in the car together, and Mary Jo said to you, but Ted, what if your wife finds out? And you said, oh, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it? Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. No, I don't want a pizza. No. Well, yeah, I could use a couple of groupies. Sure. No, not political groupies. No. No, I don't want them. No. They might have a bomb in their pocket. Yeah. All right, talk to you later, Ted. Thanks for calling. That's right. That's right, Ted. Love is contagious indeed, and hate is a contagious disease. Yeah. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye, Teddy Weddy. Ted Kennedy. He asked me if I want to come to a party and have some political groupies. Nah, I don't think so. No. Nope. Nope. But if any of you girls want to come on and just like give me a hug and a kiss, I'd be glad to have you come on. As friends, come on, give me a hug and kiss. I love kisses from people, even men on the side of the cheek. It's a good thing. It shows love, peace, harmony, understanding, and truth. What is it that we're so uptight about that, huh? Did you get hit in the head? That's what's wrong with America, is that we We're so drunken with alcohol that our mind has become warped, and we don't think about the right thing to do, and we go along with government because we're afraid that we're going to get audited or put in jail or framed or killed. Or what else is there in life? The war is here. History, America, the world. You have to fight for the freedom of speech. You have to fight for your freedom of happiness and the pursuit of happiness in your dreams. Without it, you're going to get creamed. And not in the Clinton sense. Not that dense. A lot of this is ad lib, so hang in there. But you never have, if something is unscripted, and if you're really true to yourself and true to your morals and stuff, you'll be okay. It's when you have something to hide that you gotta watch what you say. That's why they tape shows, because they're afraid these people are gonna say something. They say, "Oh, you shouldn't have said that, Mr. Clinton. Shouldn't have said that. We'll have to cut that out. Yeah, we'll cut that out. Yeah, cut that out." Just like doctors, we'll cut it out. And we'll cut it out. It's doctors and surgeons. Yeah. Hey, doc, I got my back hurts. Oh, it must be that kidney. Yeah, we'll cut it out. Yeah, cut it out. They cut it out. Instead of saying eat nutritionally, instead of doctors coming out and saying yes, eating healthy is good. But all these doctors that are trained, oh, meat is good. No, it's not. That's my opinion. That's my only opinion. If you want to call me, call 1-832. Love me or love you. Yeah. Now let's go to some local news. Here we go. Here we go, loop-de-loo. Here we go, loop-de-lie. Oh, here we go, loop-de-loo. Here we go, loop-de-lie. La 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 la. Baloney. Salami. Why do they always say, that's baloney? Why not salami or liverwurst? I think Hitler's, when he was like, when he was like, he didn't have words to say and he was aghast with not having enough gas, he used to go, Wiener Schnitzel. Hitler, fig dish. This is Mark and City Lights, City Streets. Okay. I was going to go up to Burial Hill where a lot of the pilgrims are buried. And they have a gravestone up there that says, "This is Governor Bradford's resting place," when in fact that's a lie. Governor Bradford's in Duxbury. Yeah. What do you think, a rich bastard like him is going to be put in a common town like Plymouth up on a hill? No, he's in Duxbury, the rich town, who has potassium iodide, by the way. That's where he's buried. Isn't that a blatant lie? So what's new? History is no mystery. So I was going to do this up on Burial Hill, but I have respect for the dead. Even though they were hateful people and killed the Indians and slaughtered them. One of the governors back then slaughtered one of the Indian chiefs, because the Indian chiefs told his brave warriors that he's invisible. That's why he was never shot. And so one of the governors took him and shot him to prove to the Indians that he wasn't invisible. Well, this is a show that I wrote to talk about on Burial Hill. So take a pill. I'm going to read that to you now. It sort of goes along with this. As I stand here in this sacred Burial Hill site in Plymouth, Massachusetts, I hear the whisper of the ancient winds that swirl around this planet. Sheesh. Let me start again. As I stand here in this sacred burial hill site in Plymouth, Massachusetts, I hear the whisper of the ancient winds that swirl around this planet since the beginning of time. I hear the sun rays emanating deep into my soul. My cool, loving, peaceful soul. As I stand among the graves of the pilgrims, I can hear the cries of the dead. They are calling into the wind, their voices so vibrant and revolutionary as their first rally in England demanding religious freedom, freedom of speech and lower taxes. But this time, their voices have another battle cry. The voices I hear are voices of despair, voices of begging for forgiveness. They have been dead for over 300 years, but yet these dead souls are destined forever to burn in hell's flames because they committed the worst of all sins, murder. I hear their cries echoing in their cavernous, vacant skulls, their skeletal bones trying to tune into our world by crying out that we should not follow in their genocidal footsteps because murder is wrong, genocide is wrong, genocide is wrong. It is wrong to hate our fellow human. It is wrong, and war is wrong, and that we should put as much energy, money, and willpower investing in peace and humanity rather than building more weapons of mass destruction. Yes, only psychics can hear, and spiritualists can hear these pilgrims cry. Hold on, my cigar went out. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but it's the truth, and let it lay where it will. Go take a nerve pill. Still take another nerve pill. You pill? Grim? My words are not of hate, they're of love. I fly higher than the morning white peaceful dove. But I hear the cries of the dead pilgrims on Burial Hill. They say, do not oppress and kill your fellow man. Because at one time, we too were oppressed and jailed and killed. And if one is to hate and kill, then their destiny too is to be hated and be killed. I keep hearing their cries. It is driving me almost mad. But still I must use my God-given gift and continue to interpret their critical cries. Their pilgrim cries continued. The dead pilgrims, I hear them now. Yes, we have taken the land from the Indians, killed their chiefs, sold their children as pieces of meat, lied to them and shot at them at point-blank range. And now we are suffering for eternity in the blazes of hell. But if history is true, it must be heard. Listen to our cries on the wind that whistles around street corners in the midnight hour when all is asleep, dreaming of the nightmares to come. If you cannot hear the pilgrim cries on the whistling wind, civilization is doomed unless you see the truth we so abused. That truth was to keep our fellow man. That truth was to help our fellow man, not steal his land. To help each other in times of trouble and not make more double trouble. Hear our cries, hear the Mideast cries from Plymouth to Chechnya, to Ethiopia, to England and America. Because if you continue to work towards war, then peace will rot to its core. You too will do wrong and will be buried alongside of us singing the same painful song. And now I hear every pilgrim weep, babies crying in the street, elders sniveling, weeping, filling their coffins again with tears of guilt. Then everything went quiet. Then I could hear Governor Bradford say, "Lord," he said to me, "Lord, tell us how the people can find peace in their hearts. Lord, tell us how people can find their souls and how we can get along with our fellow human being." And my response is thus: the Lord speaks. We, as a people of all races and creeds, must put a stop to evil misdeeds and come together to save the humanity from hate, the lies, the racism. We must rise above our ancestral past and become as one under the sun, because when we die, we do not want to eternally cry. Do the right thing by using our brains for which they are intended, and stop believing in a politic of lies, innuendo, and greed. Speed up the peace process. Speed up the cleaning of the polluted lands. Band together, oh brother and sister, from American land to foreign land. The people always of every land wants peace, but it is the powers that be that disagree. If I had not come along with this human song, others would take up my call. Because to stall any longer would be like cowards that stick their head in the ground when the wild attacking dogs come around. As I speak, I am the Lord on earth, not the Lord above. For I do not say that I am more wiser and spiritual than the Lord above, but I am the Lord on earth. That was mine by birth. I am not alone on this sacred mount, this sacred earth perch, this holy dead ground, this Mother Earth's dirt, which belongs to everyone from Kalamazoo to Timbuktu. It is time the people, the masses, understand this. For governments to amass large quantities of weapons of mass destruction because it is easier to lash out at another person's hate than to spend the effort to create a peaceful understanding in this senseless world of despair, come together and fulfill the dream of Atlantis, the perfect society, the best civilization mankind has ever seen, because as in the polishing of a carbonized black stone, you will eventually see the gleam in the diamond's soul. And too, we must polish the darkened cold stone soul of past bad. Then we too shall experience soulful peace at last. Soulful peace at last. Soulful peace. We're free at last. Free at last. Thank yourself. You're free at last. Well, that was poetic there. Yeah. Do I believe that hogwash? Nah, not really. But this is Mark, and this is City Lights, City Streets. You having fun yet, kiddies? Go get yourself a pizza, an Oval Office, a fat Jewish girlfriend, put her under the desk. Everything's fine. You know? Isn't it time someone told the true story of history, our history, the world history? We must stop lying to ourselves and believing in the untruths, the golden goose that no longer lays the golden eggs. We must see the reality rather than to believe in the fairy tales that historians try and make romantic, when in fact history and human destiny is a bittersweet struggle, and fighting the constant battle between the powers to be of greed against the sacred original seed. Mad Cow has killed 100 people Indeed, in England. And a reporter on CNN News was asked if mad cow had killed anyone, and she hemmed and hawed and hemmed, and she lied and said, no, mad cow disease hasn't killed anyone yet. When news agencies lie to the world for whatever reason, whether it be greed or treason, that does not give them the right to lie as others cry into their American pie. We must come forward and listen to our painful soul in the deepest of dark nights and confront our frights. And we must be fearless in this life, because that ain't enough, because it's all about soul. It's all about soul. I've lived long enough to have learned, the closer to the fire, the more you'll get burned. But that won't happen to us. You can't go the distance with too much resistance. I know you have doubts, but for God's sake, just hear me out. You come to me at night in shades of human kindness. I know that you have doubts, but for God's sakes, just hear me out. The Pilgrims. The Pilgrims did exactly to the Indians what England did to the Pilgrims. Live by the sword, die by the sword. But today, in this technological, illogical system we call a democracy, by the people and for the people, Hitler had such a democracy, because when rulers are the aristocracy, then the people have no such power. Lemonade is sour without the sugar, but that sweetness does not come easy, for in the aristocracy they substitute saccharin instead of the honey from the sacred bee. And then after years of drinking this brew, then they tell you that there was a big mistake and it causes cancer. And then we say, but why do you give it to us? And they say, capitalism is your jingoism. We only gave you what you could. We only gave you what we could to fill your stomachs with palatable poison, to fill our bank accounts full of your sweat and bones. The capitalists say, who produce poisonous chemicals like tobacco and alcohol and caffeine, do you really think we care if you get cancer and lose your homes? You can't stone us for our crime, because it is capitalism that protects us from you as long as you bought the stuff all the time. Don't cry because our advertising dollars stole your last dime. Hey, you people aren't calling. Come on, give me a call. Give me a call. All you people aren't calling. I hope this is coming through. But I'll say it another time. Did you know that you can take all my writings and burn them? You can burn me, but my soul is eternal as the eternal flame that burns over Kennedy's dead body at Arlington Cemetery. I have more fuel in my soul people say to me, Mark, by saying things on TV, do you think it's really going to change anything? Media changes things. You got to get the word out. You got to get the word out. We talked about Nathaniel Morton Elementary School and how that there was bad air in the schools. And finally, the Superintendent Hershey, Superintendent of Schools, they finally came to the conclusion of the scientific evidence, which Mr. Corey Holmes said, as long as there's no local exhaust ventilation in the building, kids will still be getting those illnesses. Stomach aches, head problems, eye problems, headaches, chronic fatigue, chronic illnesses for life, some of them, the teachers and stuff. It wasn't just a few teachers that complained. 50 teachers and personnel complained about the bad air. A local newspaper, which I will not mention its name anymore, I will not let those words pass through these wonderful, pure lips of mine that smack together of truth, and so fine and sweet as the morning dew that droplets on the grass blade. Newspaper reporter in a local newspaper said that the Nathaniel Morton Elementary School, the state health department says that the air is safe. There is no problem. Well, there is a problem. They said that they talked to a health expert. Who do they talk to? Where's their names? I know their names. I talk to them all the time. And Mr. Corey Holmes says Nathaniel Morton Elementary School is the worst building tested in 200 buildings, even with the retest. He says you can paint all the walls, rip up all the rugs. As long as you have no local exhaust in the building, which it still does not have, you will still have the same illnesses. Fact, scientific truth, fact, but yet the reporters lie. They lie. They don't tell the truth. They willingly don't tell the truth. They didn't do the research and call the state health department and talk to the people who did the actual test. Mr. Corey Holmes did the actual health quality, air quality, original test, and he says without a doubt, the retest is going to prove the same thing, Mr. Lord, and it does because it has no local exhaust in the building. Now they appropriate Mr. Superintendent Hershey is a good man. He's finally come to his senses. And they've appropriated funds to fix the local exhaust system. Well, this summer they should fix it because they've been going on for time immemorable. For 10 years now it's been going on, and then all those kids are sickened. How many kids? And one of the kids has cystic fibrosis. They should have a special ventilator in that room, but instead that child will die younger because it has no local exhaust in the building. One child is important. So they appropriated these funds. Well, how much were the funds? And when is the work going to be done? I'm going to call Superintendent Hershey personally. I'm going to go knock on his door, and I'm going to ask him how much was appropriated for the funds to get a local exhaust system in there. You think the politicians would care? They would rather raise $350,000 to pad the seats at Memorial Hall rather than give the local exhaust system at Nathaniel Morton Elementary School. Did they get hit in the head? Isn't that a form of terrorism? Holding back a local exhaust system, a ventilation system that is needed for oxygen of the air, the cleansing of the air. Carbon dioxide is what causes the ozone layer to be depleted. Yes, carbon dioxide in itself isn't a problem at Nathaniel Morton Elementary School, correct, but it has higher levels than unacceptable levels of carbon dioxide in the building by the scientific reporters out there. Local reporters, yes, Nathaniel Morton Elementary School has higher, unacceptable, by state standards. It says so right in black and white in the report. Get some glasses. Read it. You need a microscope? We can get you one of those too. It says right in the report that carbon dioxide levels are unacceptable by state quality standards. It says so. Unacceptable. So unacceptable means unacceptable. And not only that, the pollution in the air builds up because there's no local exhaust in the building. They appropriated funds. Well, we're going to find out what those funds are by the Honorable Superintendent Hershey. I think he's honorable. At least they acknowledged that they needed to appropriate these funds and how much was appropriated and get it fixed this summer of 2001. And if it's not, you people ought to be pissed. You parents ought to be pissed. Don't send your kids back there. I talked to the state health department, Corey Holmes, the health guy, air quality tester, and he says you're going to have the same problems. Don't listen to news reporters. Just because they say so, that it's fine, it doesn't make it so. Just because Janet Reno breaks through a wall at Saturday Night Live as a joke, because when she broke into the building at Waco, Texas, the Branch Davidian compound, and burned those 80 people alive, 25 children burned alive, crying to a crisp, and making a joke about it, you people should be pissed. You should be pissed. Really pissed. And when news media lies to you, and when when teachers lie to you, and health officials lie to you, they don't lie to you because the scientific tests are there. Don't take that crap from media. Media sucks. You want the truth. watch my show, because I got the facts. You want to see where it says that no local exhaust exists and you're going to have these same problems? You want to talk to Mr. Corey Holmes? I can set it up. Mr. Corey Holmes of the State Health Department, I urge you to come on to my show and explain that the dire health problems that exist and the bad air quality that still exists at Nathaniel Morton Elementary School. Mr. Corey Holmes of the Emergency Air Quality Division, you have children. And you told me that Nathaniel Morton Elementary School was the worst air quality in 200 buildings, and you had kids, and I said, are they a school age? And you said no. I said, well, what happens when your kids go to school? And he goes, oh my God, he says. I said, that's right, oh my God. You need to do something about it, Mr. Corey Holmes. You need to come on the show and talk about the low humidity at Nathaniel Morton Elementary School, because there's no local exhaust system in the building, and it keeps pollutants in the air, and all pollutants build up, and the kids breathe it. You need to come on and say that. Christ's sakes. I'd be willing to talk to any people in the town, in the state, and the federal level to talk about this stuff. I don't say it. It's a scientific report. Hello. What about the spent fuel rods that are sitting in a pool of water just waiting for something to happen? Mr. Tarantino is very concerned about that, and he should be. They should all get together and get those fuel rods out of here. And like I was saying before, yes, media can make a difference, especially if you have people like me and people like you that care. Come on the show. Go down to PAC TV, sign up, and let your voices be heard. But don't tell lies, because we'll see them. I'll see them. You gotta tell the truth, and it's not my truth. It's factual, scientific truths. Political, economic, social, and cultural truths. Take the garbage out of the system. Get rid of it. There's enough of it. But go down to PAC TV and sign up, and let's hear some of those truths. And yes, it does change. I talked about Nathaniel Morton Elementary School for the last 2 years, and it took 2 years for me to interpret the scientific reports, which is in black and white. Reporters don't seem to see it, because you know why? Because it costs 25 cents a page to copy it, one of the reporters told me. So instead, they make up something, or they're vague and ambiguous about what they're reporting. That's ridiculous. And all the politicians had all these reports as well. Local politicians, state representatives, and senators, they had this report too. Health inspectors of the town had it, principals had it, superintendent of schools had it, and they didn't do anything until 2 years later? Come on. My point is this. Yes, you can make a change. It may take you 5 times. Well, actually, it take you 100 times. It may take you 1,000 times to get your point across. But you got to keep drilling it and drilling it and drilling it. It's like Pavlov's dog in psychology. That if you feed a dog a biscuit and you ring a bell, and you feed a dog a biscuit and you ring a bell, you ring a bell first. Sorry, you ring the bell, then you feed the dog a biscuit. You ring a bell, feed a dog a biscuit. Pavlovian theory, of positive reinforcement. You ring a bell, you feed a dog a biscuit, you ring a bell, and don't give the dog a biscuit. The dog's going to salivate. See, he's going to get all his juices in his mouth flowing because he knows he's going to get that biscuit when you ring that bell. See, so finally, he realized that, oh, I hear a bell. Oh, I'm salivating now, but we don't give him a biscuit, see? But he salivates, doesn't he? So what I'm trying to say is that at first, the dog won't salivate. You ring a bell, feed him a biscuit. Ring a bell, don't feed him a biscuit. He might not salivate. But after doing it 100 times, and then ringing the bell, and then don't give him a biscuit, then he's going to salivate. It's the same thing with local officials, state officials, and federal officials, and all truths. Got to keep it saying it over and over and over again until they start to salivate. Until they realize, hey, there's some truth here somewhere. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but all this shit's going to the dogs anyway if you don't do something about it. And this says city lights, city streets. Okay? So in other words, by me talking about it, they finally appropriated funds to get that local exhaust system in the building. Let me check the focus and lights and stuff. Hold on. So the point is, you need to come out and speak your mind. You can't be afraid to speak your mind. You gotta do what you gotta do, or else it ain't gonna change. And why not have, Arthur, right? Why not have, and Pam, why not have seat belts in school buses? Shouldn't we protect the children there? What's up with that? Come on, get real. I predicted about a month ago that kids were going to die in a school bus. Well, in the Patriot Ledger, June 1st, 2001, 2 children were killed in a school bus when it was broadsided by a tractor trailer. And many kids were hospitalized in critical condition. That was in Montaigneburg, Arkansas. State police said that the truck struck the truck broadside. The state police, Captain Ron Lemons, struck the school bus broadside. One boy was hospitalized in critical conditions. 3 others were seriously injured. And 2 children died because there's no seatbelts on school buses. Why have them in planes? Take them out of the planes, because the plane's going to go down, crash anyway, right? Take them out of the planes and put them in the school buses. What's wrong with that? State health officials, town health officials, idiots. Idiots. That's as clear as the face on my, that's as clear as the nose on my face, Ace. Get seatbelts in school buses. Parents should have the option to and have those installed at their cost. Don't you think? Use parents, where your kids ride school buses, take $100 of your hard-earned money and put them on seatbelts, put them in a seatbelt for your kids so that they're safe if a truck happens to broadside them. So they're safe. Parents need to take initiative and do that. All parents. What about kids in after-school sports and stuff? Do you have to pay $75 to join a sports club? That's ridiculous. So people who have 5 and 6 kids or 4 kids can't afford it, and so the kids can't play basketball, the kids can't play soccer. Isn't it every right of every child in America to have a extracurricular sport activity, but instead you have to pay for it? Just like you have to pay to go to the Children's Science Museum. If you can't have $50 to go to the Children's Science Museum, then your kid doesn't go on a trip to a science museum. He has to stay home. That's not right, is it? You have to pay for your education. And what about racial equality? What about busing, integration, and all that? Sure, there's integration on the school buses, but when they get them to the school, they segregate them in classrooms. They segregate the kids in classrooms. The teachers say, well, this kid's poor, well, we'll put him in there. This kid ain't too bright. That ain't society. That ain't fair. They should be in a pool. All these kids should be in a pool, and they should pick them up. These kids go to this class. These kids go to that class. You don't selectively pick kids and say, oh, since you're rich or since you're more intelligent than this kid, then you go in this class, and all these other malcontents, so-called malcontents, or unintelligent or poor kids go in this class, inclusion classes. Bullshit. And that's how the schools are run in America. They integrate the school buses in the schools, but they segregate them in the classes. Hello? Get real. You see how I lit that thing? You see how I lit that thing? And it's out now? Is that what it is? I light a fire under your ass, and then after I'm off the air, it goes out, and you forget about it? You forget about the nuclear fuel rods? Spent nuclear fuel rods that are highly contagious and dangerous and cancerous and could cause a catastrophic disaster in Plymouth, Massachusetts. And we, as a taxpayer, paid the federal government to get them out of here, and they're still sitting there after a few years? Come on. I light a fire under your ass, and when the show's off, you forget about it? Hey, when someone, if something happens to those fuel rods and there's a fire, there ain't no putting it out. Let me tell you. Get the fuel rods out of here. Ugh. Why aren't there ingredients on tobacco products? I know why there isn't, because if it told you really what was in there, 41 cancerous known carcinogens in there, people wouldn't smoke. Kids wouldn't smoke. They have sense. What's that nonsense not printing that on the pack? We know what that is.